What's up with the changing background? That's my Murphy bed. So I think that I have a more than enough background. It's not barely enough, it's more than enough. It's chock full. Anyway, I digress. Great to see you guys. We're exploring, examining, having a more than enough mentality. And I thought I'd bring in this prop. This is the lowly, ubiquitous, prosaic ice cube tray. And it will there's no shortage of water, and yet this is the size ice cube tray and the size ice cubes that this one will make. This is also the shape of the ice cube trays that this one will make. If I used this analogy last week, I apologize, but I love it so much. And obviously I'm obsessed with ice cube trays now because water is water will make big ice cube trays, small ice cubes. It will make them into any shape. But man, once this is the shape, God, love, source, water, energy, this is what you're going to make, and this is what I'm going to make. Now, in some areas of my life, my ice cubes are whopping big, man. They are just groovy. And some of the areas are just sort of brand new, not very much fits in this thing yet. So this is what I got. I have a barely enough size ice cube tray. So how do I make this bigger? Because there's no shortage to the size, and God will gladly fill whatever size container that I bring. So how does this get bigger? If I make that bigger and water goes in, that's going to be my mentality. And so I was thinking to myself, how do I develop more than enough mentality? And I want to use a particular example from my life because I think this should be more than conceptual. It should be a story. And so I'm loving so many areas of my life. Where am I struggling and suffering and miserable with barely enough or less than enough? And it's in this musical procedure and process that I'm engaged in. And I started it almost 3 years ago, and I started it too late, and I'm not really natural at it, and maybe it was a bad idea, and it's a waste of time, and what the hell am I thinking? Do you hear the size of my ice cube tray? Do you hear that? It's like, I'm not making any progress. I'm kind of feeling sorry for myself. Wah, everybody else is better. I suck. Now, today I have another audition at college to get into. I'm already in the music program. I'm already going to get a music degree. But there's an avenue of the music degree where you play your instrument and you're in ensembles and they teach you your instrument and you get more acknowledgement and you get to play in the orchestras and you do shows and last semester I tried out and I thought I just kicked ass. Just between you and me, I kicked ass. And I was cut. I got cut. And my ego was bruised because I kicked ass when I played my song and on the piano. And so today is this semester and I have to go audition again. And it's like, am I going to go audition? I quit. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to get a music degree. I'm not going to quit music. I'm going to keep playing, but I don't want to go to this audition because it's the same woman and she's kind of like Darth Vader woman. She's really nice, but she's terrifying and intimidating. And why would I do that to myself? And then I'm thinking, do you life coach people for a living? And I'm going, oh yeah, that's what I do. I kind of ask people to do uncomfortable things. I'm going, yeah, I should probably shrink and quit. But then this doesn't get any bigger. And I also made a list. It's like, well, Greg, that's your story, but can you tell us how to get more of a more than enough mentality? And I figured that I would help because it's the least I can do. And if there's one thing I love doing, it's the least I can do. But how do you make your ice cube tray bigger so that God can pour more into our lives and we can go from barely enough to more than enough? It's not, all you have to do is everything, all the things. I made a list. This is how I'm going to move from barely enough to more than enough when it comes to music. And I'm going to act as if I'm going to imagine and feel the outcome. When I think about music and I'm feeling sorry for myself, which is really tempting, I'm going to breathe more deeply. I'm going to act in accord with what it is that I want. When feeling the pinch of scarcity, I'm not going to give in. I'm not going to feel resigned or try not to feel overly sorry for myself. I'm going to turn it over to God and say, God, I need a miracle in this area of my life. I can't possibly do this on my own. This is way too big for me. I've gone way over 6 minutes. Too bad. I have a more than enough mentality when it comes to the time for this talk today. I'm going to remain cheerful and optimistic. Now that might be a little bit of a specialty of mine, to remain cheerful and optimistic. I think I learned that from my mom. I'll know that others have done it. Others have been where I'm at, and in some way, somehow, they rearranged their consciousness and their mentality and their capacity, and God made them bigger ice cubes. Hell yeah. I'm gonna do, oops, there goes my ice cube tray. I'm gonna do the next right thing, and then I wrote, I'm gonna do the next right thing, and then I'm gonna do the next right thing. That's how important it is to just do the next right thing. I'm gonna be comfortable in my discomfort. I'm going to pray ceaselessly. I'm going to have an open mic relationship with God and constantly lean into the love and the power of God. I'm going to have an inner certainty that it's coming. Even though it doesn't show up on the outside, I'm not going to trust the appearances of things. I'm going to judge the truth, like the masters say. I know God doesn't give desires he can't or won't fulfill. God planted this desire inside of me. What's he going to do? Is God that cruel that he would plant a desire inside of me and not give me the capacity to fulfill it? No, that is not God. That's only a human would think of that. And then I remembered this line, it's God's great good pleasure to pour out his blessings to his kids. And then I remembered I'm one of his kids. So, this is going to get way bigger when it comes to music. And I pray that your ice cube trays get bigger, larger, and you absorb all the water you want to make the biggest, most beautiful ice cubes in the whole world. Okay, you guys. So much for my crazy talk. I'll see you tomorrow.